Good morning and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. My name is Dave and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope that our service finds you happy and healthy, but please know that if you're struggling in any way, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with some conscious breath work, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and then pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, and releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. A second conscious breath. Pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, and then releasing slowly. And as you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week, all the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. And a third conscious breath together. Holding just a moment. And releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin our service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. And Victor will explain our chant this morning.
Thank you very much, Dave. Good morning, everyone. Our chant today is Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. In the Sanskrit tradition, this chant is a deeply devotional expression of gratitude. You'll notice the dana, the first word, which is also what we talk about at the end of the service, a dana practice, or the Buddhist practice of generosity. And so Dhanavad Kritanyaham is a deeply devotional expression of gratitude. And so with that, let's take a conscious breath together, breathing in. And let's begin. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. With a smile. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Once more. Dhanavad Kritanyaham. Gratitude for this opportunity to come together this morning, gratitude for the teachings, gratitude for working toilets, gratitude for our teachers, both formal and informal, and gratitude for each and every one of you and for the heart and the practice that you bring and share with us each and every day. So thank you.
Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights as well as mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you will participate only at the level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. Let's just take a moment now to silence any electronic devices and prepare a meditative environment. And we will recite the prayer of refuge. We'll recite this together 3 times in honor of the 3 jewels. Together, in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter into a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that's fitting for you this morning. If you're new to meditation, we'll begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and then we'll spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin with a conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
As the sound of the bell recedes into the stillness, it acts as a guide, showing us the way. If necessary, you can take another conscious breath or two, or perhaps adjust your posture, whatever that you need to do to partner with the body to find a new level of gentleness and ease. And as the breath settles in now to its natural flow, its natural rhythm, we simply bring our awareness to the rise and the fall of the tummy with each in-breath and each out-breath. And with every out-breath, we find a deeper, newer level of lightness and ease for the body, remembering to release any tension in our forehead, to unfurl the eyebrows, relax the jaw, the shoulders drop, and the belly softens and releases. Light, spacious is the form. And so, connected to the breath, the body is light and easy. We can bring our awareness now to awareness itself. Simply noticing as lightly as possible anytime the mind is distracted. It could be distracted by a sound, something in the room or out in the hallway. Noticing when the mind is distracted by a sensation, like an itch or a tummy rumble or an ache in the knee or something like that. And noticing when the mind is distracted by a thought. All these things, they simply come and go. And with a playful curiosity, our practice is to bring an awareness to what it is that they come and go within. Our practice is to cultivate the knower, not the things that are known. And so, connected to the breath, the body is gentle and easy. The mind is clear, yet receptive to whatever arises, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply now into our practice, into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so I invite you to remain in a meditative state, connected with the breath, as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of rustling in the room or anything like that. And as you become aware of the sense door of sound, at the same time, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on that deep, still silence within? That silence which is not dependent upon external circumstances and is always with us. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of matter, material, form, at the same time, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on that which is formless? In other words, can you be aware that you are aware? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, not focusing hard, just kind of keeping a peripheral view of the entire space, the entire room. And as you become aware of form and shape, and color, stuff and things, at the same time, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on the space around them, sensing the space in this room? I can still see the sides of the room, the walls, the ceiling, the floor. And can you sense the space around this building? And can you sense the space around our planet, orbiting at such a fantastic speed, spinning, orbiting? And it's in a galaxy that's also spinning, and the galaxy is also hurling through space. We have never been in the same space for more than an instant. And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, be present in the here, in the now, in this time, and in this place. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you, Ricky. Good morning. Good morning. It's so nice to be back with everybody and to see you again, getting hugs. And I don't know how you did it, Karen, but you got the memo, the purple memo out. I've seen more purple shirts and dresses and tops than... So I happened upon a YouTube comic the other night, and I was watching this, and it was kind of funny because I'd sort of already gotten the divine, the universal, the cosmic nudge to talk about the art of refrain. And so I just happened to be kind of clicking through, and I came upon this comic. And he was talking about how his parents amazed him because they had been married for over 50 years. And so he went to his dad and he says, "Dad, how did you do it? 50 years of marriage. It's amazing." And his dad said, "Never say the first thing that pops in your head. In fact, don't even say the second thing that pops into your head." And so he went on to say that, I thought that was great, but I never really truly understood it. I didn't really know what he was talking about until I got married. He says, it was very early in my marriage, and my young wife and I decided to go on a road trip. And so, we were packing the car and getting things ready, and she packed the cooler, and we loaded it in, and we're driving on our road trip. And about 3-4 hours in, we decided we wanted to stop for a sandwich. And so I got out, and I opened the cooler, and all the food was warm. And I said, honey, did you put ice in the cooler? And she said, no, it's a cooler. And he's like, that first refrain, he's like, second refrain, and on the third moment, he's like, well, I think this cooler's broken. 50 years of marriage. And so here we are, practicing together in sacred Sangha. And what is it we are practicing? Is it wise view, wise understanding, wise mindfulness? Are we practicing meditation? Are we practicing the Dharma, or perhaps even applying the Dharma in daily life or life situations? Well, my teacher would often say, awareness. We're practicing awareness. The Buddha taught that the true cause of happiness is not outside, but inside. So as we bring awareness to our inner landscape, and I would add a playful curiosity, we shine the light of self-inquiry onto the nature of our relationship to what we experience moment by moment. We shine the light of self-inquiry onto the nature of the relationship to what we experience moment by moment. So as students on the path, we understand that it is our propensity to ruminate, to run videos in our head over and over about something that happened last week or may happen in the future, and we're all caught up in all these machinations, and this creates a ton of anxiety. It is our negativity bias, our attachment to beliefs and stories that creates frustration. And it is our identification with form. And you have often heard spiritual teachers talk about, we have a body, but we are not our body. We have feelings and emotions, but we are not our feelings and emotions. And we have thoughts, but we are not our thoughts. And it is all of these things that tend to ruin our day. Or all of these things that tend to create, these rotten experiences and all these different types of things. And it is all these things that ruin our day, not our, supervisor or our neighbor or our family member or some perceived external experience or circumstance. It is these things that ruin our day, not the things that we're blaming, not the external circumstances that we are focused on. In, for example, a war zone, one person is devoured by bitterness while another works to bring food, shelter, perhaps even a smile to those who are suffering. The Buddha said, as long as the poisons of the kleshas remain in our mind, we will not find happiness anywhere. And I invite you to do your own research on the kleshas. I'm not speaking specifically on those today, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but they're spelled K-L-E-S-H-A, kleshas. oftentimes called the 5 poisons, or sometimes the 3 poisons, depending on the different Mahayana or Vajrayana Buddhist sects. So one of the 3 teachings from the Buddha on working with the poisons, the first is refraining, which is our topic today, refraining. Specifically refraining from reacting. And just because I know some of you are going, the first of 3, well, what are the other 2? I'm going to go ahead and tell you those now so you don't spend the next 20 minutes going, but what's the second and the third? So the second is to, in working with the poisons, is to realize that there are no bad emotions. That even though they can be very unpleasant, they bring gifts for us if we are open and aware. And the third teaching is to actually be able to use these emotions as a direct path to awakening. Now, let's come back to the first teaching on the art of refraining. I want to be very, very clear here that refraining does not mean refraining from feeling. This is not escapism. It is refraining from the reactivity of habit patterns, or what we call vasana. Vasana is habit energy. It's a little more accurate. We can be cognitively aware of patterns in our life, speech and behavior patterns. It can be more difficult to be aware of the vasana, or the habit energy, which is that energy, that sensing, feeling nature right before we say or do something. So we can only notice these habit energies by certain patterns in our life that become evident over time. Because our tendency to blame, our tendency to cling to external focus, there's something out there that is wrecking my life. There is something out there that I need in order to be happy. All this clinging to external focus, we think that God hates me because I hit every red light every time I'm late for an appointment. And so, in truth, these patterns are actually proof that the universe is madly in love with us and wants us to wake up. It is the universe saying, hey, look here. And if you miss it, I'll show you again. In my case, it's again and again and again and again and again. My goodness, the universe has been patient with me. So let's explore this divine sequence just for a moment. And it begins usually with a childhood experience. Something happens that is very painful for us when we are young. And because we do not have the skills to cope with or manage, it becomes trapped energy. This is how the vasana, that's the seed of the vasana. This energy knot then develops and draws more experiences like that to us, because what we fear, we manifest. Unity often uses the phrase, what we resist persists. So it's kind of like the fella that is so afraid of getting broken into, puts 30 locks on his front door. You know, and of course, every criminal that walks by and sees all those locks is like, oh boy, there's something great in there. So we draw to us what it is we most fear, because that fear energy radiates that signal out into the universe. It's not really cognitive. We're not, but it can manifest in speech and behavior. And so we draw to us what it is we need to purify and to work through and to resolve. And of course, this then, as we draw these experiences to us, this then creates patterns, which in turn creates suffering for self and others. And it is the suffering that leads us to either great destruction or great awakening. My teacher would always say that it is the suffering that wakes us up. The wonderful joys in life, we do not ever want to block. We want to embrace those. But it is the suffering that wakes it up. This is the gift of suffering. This is why suffering is not bad. It's not wrong. It is a part of an amazing cosmic series of events that are designed to wake us up. We are on a spiritual evolutionary path, whether we know it or not. Let me give you another example, a little closer to home. When I was about 10 years old, my father owned some horses, and on Saturdays, he used to like to take me horseback riding. Well, one Saturday, I just didn't feel like going, and I asserted at the age of 10, I asserted my wish, and I said that I didn't really want to go today. Well, my stepfather was actually very hurt by this. After he left, my mother came in, and she was very angry with me. She saw this as a perceived threat to their relationship, to the marriage itself. And so she proceeded to scold me and punish me. And as is often the case, there was confusion with the actor and the action. Instead of saying that my decision caused unhappiness in the family, but I was still a good little boy, it became Victor was the reason for the pain. And what I learned from this was that displeasing others led to a lot of painful experiences for everyone. As this energy knot began to grow, I became acutely, in fact, intensely aware of displeasing people in general, which created a pattern of people-pleasing behaviors and speech. And this then, and all these things in order to try to make everybody happy. And these patterns then created a lot of suffering for myself and for those around me, and especially in my romantic relationships. This suffering became so intense that it led to spiritual seeking. Well, at first it led to a collapse of everything in my life, which then led to spiritual seeking. And as I became a student of the path and really devoured and dove into it, this led to awakened experiences in my life, and has actually then led to this practice of being in community and Sangha with each and every one of you. Now, right here is where our practice kicks in. Coming back to refraining, because there is not only the childhood traumas in our life, but all of those since, right? And when we place a wedge of awareness, a moment of refrain, my teacher called it a wedge of awareness, in this sequence, then, and these sequences that I described a moment ago, when we place that wedge of awareness in there, we embark on a path of purification, and we break the cycle. In fact, we are literally breaking synapses in the brain. It is truly changing what they call neuroplasticity. It is changing the shape of the brain, because we no longer act out of these constant habit patterns, these grooves that have been placed in the brain over years of responding the same way every time, doing the same dance with mom, the same dance with dad, the same dance with our spouses and loved ones, our same dance with the boss, over and over and over again. The universe is saying, hey, yeah, but right here, hello, wake up. So whenever we experience unpleasantness, when we are hungry, angry, lonely, tired, frustrated, take a moment to stop. And it is right here as we begin to work with the reactivity. What is the feeling nature right now? Right before you would normally say and do what you normally and usually say and do, what does it feel like? And that is the art right there of refrain. Because it's not so much about stopping what you're going to say or do. It's more about what not doing that reveals. Our habit patterns. Maybe it's even something small or simple, like turning on the radio every time you get in the car. What happens if just for a moment you don't? What is revealed? Perhaps a new relationship for the perception of boredom? Maybe what's revealed is the nature of your mind that must have stimulation. Feed me, more. Over time, and stimulation, and we know this, right? You know, once you get a little something that's pleasurable, now I want a lot of something that's pleasurable. So we know the nature of mind conceptually, but do you know it in an embodied fashion? What does a hungry mind, or in the Buddhist practice, the hungry ghost, what does it feel like? This is why I've often talked about something called the three-urge meditation. If you were to simply incorporate the three-urge meditation, this is your homework for the week. This is a way that we can practice refrain. This is rubber meets the road. Three-urge meditation. The moment you have an urge to flip on the TV, turn on the radio, reach for a cigarette, reach for a drink, reach for a joint, reach for a video game, whatever the habit energy is, stop. I'm not saying don't. I'm saying just stop for a moment. Establish a new relationship with what it is you are feeling. Bring an insight into the inner landscape. What's going on? And don't forget the playful curiosity. Whoa, what does this craving feel like? Where do I experience it in the body? Does it have an epicenter? What's its size, its shape, its color? Does it pulse? Does it vibrate? And on the second urge, continue exploring. And on the third urge, go ahead and do whatever. Again, I'm not saying don't do it. And the reason why I'm saying don't do it is because it doesn't work. These wonderful human bodies that we get to play with, telling them no doesn't work. So whenever we are hungry, angry, lonely, tired, stop and practice refraining. Instead of barreling ahead and reverting to old patterns of blaming, judging, or there's just that not even thinking about it, right? Just doing it because this is what I always do. This is what I've always done. Instead of barreling ahead forward with that and avoiding what we're feeling, because that's what all that does, we allow space. We open to this moment. We slow down the reactivity. Pema Chodron, a wonderful spiritual teacher and Tibetan nun, says this: the practice of refraining is not to hide or run away from problems. We are so used to everyone acting out or speaking out that when we refrain from doing so, we might even feel like we're avoiding things that we need to face. But the point of keeping our mouths shut or stopping in that moment is not to duck out of a heated situation. The point is to give ourselves the time and support to feel what we need to feel, to stop running, to turn and face the demon, so to speak. And how we look at things makes all the difference. If we approach refraining as a means of shutting down, then it can easily become escapism. But if we approach refraining as a way of opening up and becoming more allowing to whatever arises, then this practice will serve us very well. Very well. It is a powerful practice of refraining. one of the members of the Sangha used to say that they always had this automatic yes, which is people pleasing, or automatic no, which is just a shutting down and a withdrawing from the world. And what they always go to now is, may I please think about it? That's become automatic now for them. May I please think about it? And I'll get right back to you, maybe an hour, maybe 10 minutes, maybe next week. And even if those of you who have studied nonviolent communication, Marshall Rosenberg's just iconic and groundbreaking work on nonviolent communication, we know that once a discussion has reached an intensity level of just 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, nothing good will come from it. And we should stop and agree with someone to, can we take a break and come back and revisit this, set a point to reconvene so that we're not just shoving it under the rug. If the intensity level has reached a 4, stop, refrain, agree to come back and revisit this topic in 30 minutes, tomorrow morning, or whatever it might be. Think of refraining from speaking and acting as becoming familiar with the transformative energy of the emotions. There is the gift in the unpleasant emotions. There are no bad emotions. There are no wrong emotions. There are no evil emotions. Every one of them is a messenger bearing a wonderful gift of awakening, that if we can stop, turn and open and embrace this unpleasantness, there will be a gift in it for us. A gift of transformation. If we can apply the wedge of awareness in this constant cycle of experience, then, there's a feeling nature to it. Something happens. It feels a certain way. And then here comes the overlay of all the thoughts about the feelings, about the experience. In other words, there's this little jump that happens over the feelings, because who wants to feel that? I get it. Been doing it for 60 years. But the promise of the Buddha's teachings is that if you can place a wedge of awareness right there and just feel it, everything else just dissipates. And after a while, we are able to develop the skills and the ability to be with what is unpleasant. And when we can be with what is unpleasant, we can then experience the transformative gift that it brings. And we become able to embody how the gift that, say, for example, guilt brings this amazing gift that tells us that we have been living by someone else's expectations. Come home. Come home. Anger brings this beautiful gift that helps teach us what our boundaries are, where we draw the line at something. That's all it is. This is what's important to me. Yeah, I don't have to beat somebody else up because they don't believe that way, but this is what's important to me. And then we can reframe that anger and then direct that energy into bringing about conscious activism in the world, in being the light instead of looking for the light. If we do this often enough, we can exhaust the karmic patterns altogether. And this can be quite magical, because when we exhaust the karmic tendencies and patterns, we awaken. Thank you for sharing your heart, your presence, and your practice with us.
Let's just take a moment now to embody the teachings before we move into our heart practice meditation. And our heart practice today is a metta practice. Some people like to create an outward gesture for the heart practices, maybe just placing your hands palm up in your lap, or placing one or both hands over your heart, or perhaps even the Anjali Mudra, the prayer hands of focusing of the heart energy. And let's start with a conscious breath. And as you release that breath, bring to mind a full body image of you. With this image in your mind, silently repeat to yourself these phrases. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. And may I be at ease and happy. And a conscious breath. And as you release that breath, bring to mind the image of a friend or a loved one. And holding this image in your mind, repeat these phrases. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. In a conscious breath. And as you release that breath, bring to mind the image of a difficult person in your life. Could be a coworker or a classmate, a family member, a political figure. And recognizing that these people are also worthy of loving kindness, repeat these phrases. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. And a conscious breath together. And as you release that breath, bring to mind the image of the world. And holding this image in your mind, may we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we all be well in body and mind. And may we all be at ease and happy. In a conscious breath. And as you release that breath, open your eyes and smile. In the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, meaning not in return for anything that you've received, but so that others who may seek refuge in our Sangha may find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located at the back of the meditation hall and on the upper level near the door. Thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers, and thank you to our TBC ambassadors, those who have committed to regular electronic donations, It's not about the amount, it's just that the monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you'd like to become an ambassador, just point your camera at the QR code on the cards in the seat backs in front of you, or you can come by our website at templebuddhistcenter.com. Thank you to Rochelle for your beautiful music today. And thank you to Victor for sharing your wisdom. And thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your heart and your practice and your time with us here today. We certainly are the better for it. And in just a moment, we'll put the Bodhicitta dedication up on the screen behind us. We will recite that together one time, and then if you can stick around for just a few minutes, Victor has some announcements. And I'm trying to stall just a little bit longer so we can get everybody in. Okay, and the Bodhicitta dedication, we'll recite this one time together. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste.
Thank you, everyone, so much. Everything is working again. So yes, there are crumble cookies, and don't forget 3 Urge meditation. There are crumble cookies and coffee and tea downstairs. Please go downstairs and don't forget to introduce yourself to someone and say hi and expand your Sangha. The monks are coming August 15th through the 20th. It's going to be a wonderful week filled with lots of interesting activities, opportunities to come up here and meditate with the monks as they are creating this beautiful mandala for the Temple Buddhist Center community, both near and far. We're going to try to have some of this online too for some of our folks joining us from all around the world. So hopefully you'll be able to tune in or at least see some photos and different aspects of the visit. And today is First Sunday, which means our very own Beth is going to be featuring from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock Interplay. Interplay is a wonderful opportunity for adults and children alike to learn to cultivate that spontaneity, that feeling of joy that comes with playfulness and improvisation. And believe me, it's all in a safe, structured environment. They're very simple, fun little activities. We'll do meditation in between to establish a connection with the way that this joy feels. And so I highly recommend it. And there was a small mistake on our website that when you would go to this class to register, it said $30, but it's a sliding scale. So we don't ever want finances or money to get in the way of the teachings or opportunities to connect with Sangha. So please, if you're interested, that's all that's required. Go down, talk to Beth, and find out more about that. And Beth is working in this month, all of last month and this month, on the Puppets of Peace, and we're getting ready to do a little presentation with the children where they have imbued their puppets with aspects of the Noble Eightfold Path from the Buddhist tradition. And so that'll be coming up very soon. And something brand new for fall. We're kicking off a new program called Growing Your Practice. I was doing one Sunday every month. I was doing something called Meditation Seminar, which was just from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, an opportunity for Sangha members to come and talk about any issues or problems they're having with meditation, mindfulness, or even establishing their practice. And so now we're going to go to 2 Sundays a month, and we're going to connect it with the 30-minute meditation at 12:10. So the way it works is at 11:30 when the second service lets out, at about 11, actually it's about 11:40 to 12:40, but 11:45 to 12:45, I can fix that. But from 11:40 to 12:10, we'll be working from a book on growing your practice in 28 days, how to really get a firm, established meditation practice going, and then also working with any problems or issues you're having. And then at 12:10, we'll actually put them into practice, and you'll meditate for 20 minutes. So that's kicking off the end of this month. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter and volunteer opportunities. Our lending library is burgeoning. That's the only time every month I get to say that word, is burgeoning, on Sundays. Don't forget to stop by our store. Liz has lots of wonderful new things out there for us. I will leave this up for you to take a picture of. If there's anything coming up, different activities such as our recovery programs, Sundays at 12:30, or Dave leads Recovery Dharmas Thursdays at 7. So again, thank you all so much for being here. And as you go into your day, I wish you peace and blessings.
That looks kind of like a tongue. Yeah. Yeah. You can get them in all sorts of different materials.